We are ready to go with coverage of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. We are in the house here for the virtual Copper World Classic. It is the Northwest iRacing Cup Series, round number 19, race 20 of the season if you count the duels. But this is round 19 of points racing. It is the Northwest iRacing Cup Series presented by Tom Denchel Automotive Group. And tonight it is the Copper World Classic. Welcome to our coverage here on, of course, LSRTV, your home for sim racing simulcasting on the Community Radio Network at We Are CRN. I'm Wesley Outland on play-by-play. Joining me alongside is our color analyst in Spokane, Washington, Greg Rentz. Got a chance of some thunder boomers, maybe some storms tonight, and just in case we need to, we will grab our other CRN colleague an LSRTV colleague, Samuel Dyer, to jump in on the broadcast. Greg is here. Charles Wooten is on production. And Greg, Phoenix, this is a unique racetrack, just shy of over a mile. Should be a great race, fun race. And, of course, this is where the championship got decided last year when Sean Bridesman won it.
This is where the championship got decided last year, Wesley. But tonight, it's a regular season contest here as we're in the final playoff push. But, again, big playoff implications on the line here. Someone can get a win and lock themselves into the postseason with a win here in the Arizona desert tonight. So an entirely different mindset than last time we were here, but should be much of the same when it comes to on-track racing. It was an interesting one here last time we were here in Phoenix. So it's going to be wild for sure to watch these guys go battle it out from here in the Copper World Classic this evening.
Ready to see these guys go on it again. Let's take a look at the Race on Texas 4114 tonight. 30-minute practice session ongoing right now. It is concluded. The drivers' meeting will then have qualifying. Qualifying 2 laps will set the stage for this 200-mile 140-lap event here on a track that's just shy over a mile here in the Valley of the Sun. The virtual iRacing, that is the Phoenix Raceway. By the way, the race information, as always, is presented by RaceOnTexas.com. If you're in the Arklatex area, get yourself an account, a subscription, yearly, monthly, race events, pay-per-views, Lone Star 600 coming up in October, and more. RaceOnTexas.com. Sawblade.com, weather conditions, bottom right of the broadcast. Sawblade.com, and it is sunny and 70 degrees virtually. Wind speed is at 2-3 miles an hour now, and track's temp is just 2 miles per hour warmer than the air temperature. Virtual, sunny, clear. Looks like we got sunset on the horizon as well. The lights will come on here soon, and Greg, this race will finish at sunset, but it will start at sunset. It will finish under the lights.
And it's going to be a lot of grip in this racetrack with that cool track temperature, Wesley. That's going to be big for these drivers because last year it was a very, very slippery racetrack. So it's going to play a big factor in how this race unfolds. Last year it was a rough go of it for our drivers. Many cautions on the night.
Qualifying is ongoing right now. There's close to 20 cars that are on the racetrack preparing for qualifying. Hey, my picks are locked in, and I'll tell you who I'm riding with here tonight. Of course, I will unveil it right about now. Look at this. This is my pick. My pick tonight is Sean Bridesman, the driver, the number 46, originally from Puyallup, Washington, now just recently moved last fall down to Phoenix, Arizona. And, of course, Greg, we remember what he had to do. He missed the race because of moving. Then he went to the NASCAR race at Phoenix. Then he coming back here for the Northwest Cup Series iRacing. He had to win the race at Texas to lock himself in. He did that both in the Cup and Trucks at Texas. And then one spot shy from winning the Truck Series championship to Dan West Jr. But Sean Bridesman came to Phoenix. He came, he saw, he conquered, won the championship. He's my pick because of it. Who are you riding with?
Well, Wesley, me and you did not have any prior conversations, but we're on the same wavelength because I picked Bridesman as well because of the fact that he won at that race last year, led 14 laps en route to that championship, held off late charges from Seth Frazier and Devin West to lock up that title. But I picked him because we know he's going to be there at the end. That is the key here at a race like Phoenix. You have to be smart, you have to play it cool, and be there at the end. Me and you did not talk prior to this, but we both are riding with the same
Good
driver.
minds think
Both of
alike.
us
What
picked
can I
Bridesman.
say? Good minds think alike. We both were thinking, and hey, I'm not mad at you. Hey, Charles pick, our producer, Charles Wooten. Who's he riding with? Wow. Jeff Stabnow. Listen, okay, so normally he doesn't talk. He's behind the scenes, but I got to have you cue your mic up for this, Charles, please. Real quickly, why do you think Jeff Stabnow is finally going to win here tonight?
Well, to be honest, here in the booth, I talked to Jeff prior to coming into the race, and we pretty much established that, he hasn't had a win yet, but, I'm playing the lottery here. Eventually, I have to get him right, so we're ride or die with Jeff till the end of the season.
Hey, by the way, Greg, he had a pretty good run last week in the Cup race. He was starting on the up in the front, got some problems, bounced off the wall. Truck race, though, he ended up a runner-up.
He did. It was an up and down weekend for Jeff Stabnow last weekend. So he's going to be looking for a bounce back. And he's looking for a bounce back at this racetrack, too. He finished 23rd here last year in that finale. However, he was 48 laps down due to an incident in the race. He was running up in the top 10 for much of the early stages of it. So Stabnow, fast here, but going to have work to do. But he's a guy who can get it done anywhere. I think he's looking for some luck. Maybe tonight is the night.
So this roller coaster ride, that is our picks. I'm picking I'm picking Sean Bridesman, just as is my colleague Greg Rentz. He's picking Jeff Stabnow. You just heard from him's Charles. He's our producer. We're taking a break. We'll be right back with more. We'll give you the starting lineup presented by Team 126 Racing, and we get ready for the Northwest version of the virtual iRacing Copper World Classic. LSRTV CRN Sports will return after a word from Tom Denchel Automotive Group.
Every customer, every single time, needs to get our very best. From moment one, my goal managing a team here in the dealership is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. That transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
Wheel to wheel, battle for the race lead. New race lead down the backstretch.
Here comes Brady Frederick.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it. Work at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
And now you see what I look like. We have to wait to see what Greg Rentz looks like. One day, Greg, we got to get you on the camera, buddy. We got to get you on the camera.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually.
We welcome you back to coverage from the virtual Phoenix Raceway. He is Greg Rentz. I'm Wesley Outland. Samuel Dyer is on emergency standby. Any moment he might possibly pop in the booth. It might be a three-man team. It might be in case we do need to grab him because Greg is getting hit by a little bit of weather. We got hit by some weather yesterday. Hey, point standings, it's updated. Look at this. And the points, Vince, Greg Rentz, have never been more important because we're down to the final, can I say it? We're down to the final three races, counting tonight, before we decide the playoffs at Indianapolis road course.
It is going to be very interesting, these final three races. As you see, our pick, both of us, Sean Bridesman leading the way right now. Lake Peterson, who leads the series and wins in second. Dan West Jr. Chris White up in fourth. Great season for him. How about Kevin Smith, a top 5 run right now in the point standings over Jeff Stabnow, BJ Titter, Caden Anderson, last week's winner, and then Paulison and Bloom rounding out your top 10.
So there you go. Top 20 will be Stephen O'Hare, Tyler King, John Onenbacher on the outside looking in. Remember, the top 12 will battle it out for the playoffs. And there is still some good drivers. Kenneth Garber, remember Dan Lowther, his story to make the playoffs. He did it last year, winning the final race at Talladega. Never count out Clifford, Toby Ritters. He's got a shot. Troy Daggett, Frank Harris, Carl Burke. They've had some pretty decent runs, and right now Burke and Cooper are tied for the last spot in positions numbered 19 and 20. So again, Greg, it's all the more important here tonight in Phoenix. But then, of course, we have the penultimate race of the regular season next week, and then Talladega. Is it Iowa and Talladega coming up? I think they're the final two.
Kansas, I believe.
Kansas. Okay,
one
Kansas
next
is like Iowa. So it's Kansas and Talladega. But anyhow, those final races counting tonight in Phoenix are certainly going to be a good one. You want to stay tuned to your radio dial on CRN Sports, the community radio network, every Monday and Wednesday night for the Cup and the Trucks, and watch it on the LSRTV feed, which is now back in 4K Ultra HD quality on the YouTube channel. Become a subscriber. And, of course, we're also broadcasting in HD on Facebook at LSRTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CRN Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. And, of course, Northwest Racing Series if you ever want to join the ARCA Cup and Truck program. The field is gritty. We are getting ready for the Copper World Classic for the Cup cars here at the virtual Phoenix Raceway. Let's give you your Team 126 Racing starting lineup as these drivers get ready to go for 200 miles, 134 laps at Phoenix. Yakima, Washington's Caden Anderson. He's on the pole in the number 37, coming off of a win sweep at Texas last week. To the outside, it is the defending Truck Series champion, winner earlier in the year of Dan West Jr. at Richmond. Row number 2, there's the champion. There's our picks for Greg and I. Sean Bridesman of the 46, Puyallup, Washington, now from Phoenix, Arizona. To the outside, Casey Garber. He's won earlier this year in the trucks in 94. Row number 3, Jeff Stabnow. There's him's pick. Charles Wooten riding with the 24 to Billings, Montana. To his outside, another native in the 23, the big red dog of Clifford, Toby Ritters. Row 4, Ryan Bloom. Decent runs along the way. Remember the great run he had at Bristol in the dirt race in the 25 to the outside. Briar Reynolds in the number 12. And around out your top 10, Casey Tillman, real racer in sprint cars, as Greg always talks about, the 92. And a man that's had some pretty decent runs as well. Could it be tonight? Hermiston, Washington's Kevin Smith in the 00.
Starting it off in the next 10, our Stephen Paulson, the Daytona winner, in the number 58 Jim Beam Toyota, with Carl Burke to his outside in the number 53. Judd Wakefield in the number 50 and Tyler King, Racetrack King, two drivers looking for their first wins as the field begins to roll off. Make up row number 7, John Ottenbacher in the number 89. Championship 4 finalist last year, B.J. Tidrick, going to roll off alongside him in 16th position. Hutchinson starting a little deep in the field here tonight. Making up row number 9. Row number 10, Troy Daggett and Aaron Cooper.
All right, so they're ready to go for these drivers. It should be a good one. We await 200 miles, 134 laps pacing the field. All right, Greg, what do you think we're going to see here, bud? This should be a good one. Caden Anderson, Dan West Jr. on the front row. Pace car is in. The Copper World Classic, one of the famous races of the winter. Come to green for iRacing in the Northwest Cup Series. Look at the asphalt in Phoenix, and they're in turn 1. Look at them already trying to stick it 3 wide, and look out, Toby Ritters going around in the yellow is out.
A couple of cars catch a huge break there because a couple of cars right there, you see Briar Reynolds rolling out, had to start the race in the pits because they missed the grid. That is a huge break for those guys as we take a look at the Pulse Poppers replay.
Take a look and find out what broke loose, what went wrong, and how it all came undone. On the start, Toby Ritters inside the top 7, and you see he had a great stuck it 3 wide, Clown in the middle, or what I had for dinner, hot dog for the big dog, and in between the buns there is Toby Ritters, and then he spun it, lost it, stayed below the bottom of the apron. Maybe, if anything, Greg, flat spot of the tires, no damage, no harm, no foul. He should be good to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, this racetrack not very aero sensitive as we see with this aero package as far as some of the other tracks go. So Ritters might be in good shape as you see BJ Tidrick there in the number 72 Verizon. trying to get things settled in. I think he was the other car that missed the start. So definitely an interesting start to this one, Wesley, as not even a corner through, we already have our first caution.
So the yellow flag is out in the early going, and right now we know no one is coming to pits right now. I really don't think they're coming to the pit lane.
No, maybe
Greg, what do
Ritters
you think the
to get that
strategy
damage.
is?
Maybe
Yeah,
Toby Ritters
what do you
to
think
get
the
that damage.
What is our strategy on tires and fuel for this event for tonight at Phoenix, you think?
Play it safe and see what happens with the cautions. See how the cautions fall. This race last year had 23 cautions in this race last year for that
That's
championship. So this is going to be a matter of just when the cautions fall, and you'll see guys getting off sequence if we see another one like this.
Hey, by the way, don't forget, the chase for the championship begins for the Season 3 of the S&B Cup Series. 12 drivers, 7 tracks, 3 rounds, and 1 champion when it's all said and done. And it all kicks off this Wednesday night at the Paperclip at the virtual iRacing Martinsville Speedway. Coverage 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central for the S&B Cup Series Championship playoffs in the round of 12 opening round at Martinsville. The S&B Cup Series presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters is this Wednesday night. And of course, Greg, man, and we talked about this last week, buddy. We're in round 20 of the year if you count the duels here for the Northwest Cup and Truck Series. Round 19 for points races. We are down to the final 3 weeks counting tonight before we have a 10-race playoff series get underway for these guys.
And it's going to be crunch time for these guys that were maybe on the outside looking in, or guys who aren't quite locked in yet, but above that cut line. Going to be very, very interesting to see how these next 3 races, counting this one, play out.
By the way, something I'm going to go on, and we're in HD as well. And for if they're racers and they are wearing a virtual reality headset, a VR headset, when that sun begins to set and it gets in the view of the racetrack, it is going to be a blinding view, a blind spot, if you will, for some of these drivers. We see the sun fighting for us in the broadcast position. But if you are a virtual reality headset on in this race mode and you have that sun in front of you, Greg, it's like the real deal. They're going to have some blind spots and some blindness from that sun. They got to be able to negotiate through that perfectly.
And they are going to have to be very, very careful with that sunlight because, I mean, I don't know if you've been behind the wheel of a race car when that sun sets, real life or virtually, but when it gets you, it gets you. So these guys with these VR headsets, we know a couple of them in the field are going to have to be very, very careful once that time comes. Green flag back in the air. Let's try this again.
Field roars back under the Geico restart zone. Hey, can we say something here? And I still wish that they would update iRacing, would update Phoenix, Greg, because I am a fan of the new Phoenix. Where the back straightaway, the kink, the arch in the track is actually now the front straightaway. This is like the original Phoenix Raceway.
This is a 2011 version of Phoenix,
Right.
the 2011 reconfiguration of this racetrack, as you see Bloom battling with Smith on the outside. Again, this is the configuration they raced from 2011 to, I believe, 2019 was the first year of the new configuration, maybe the fall of 2018. So it was definitely interesting when they basically flip-flopped the track, and drivers had fun with that new configuration. But yes, they have not yet added that to the iRacing realms. This is the previous version, and a lot of drivers still very used to this version. So definitely going to be interesting to see if and when that does get here.
That's right. We're underway again. Watching these drivers work it around. Lap 8 of 140. This is, again, 140 laps, just shy of 200 miles. I think I said 134 laps, but again, this track is just under a mile, so it's 200 miles, 140 laps the distance here. As the field works their way back around out of turn number 2, riding on board with Brian Bloom. He in position number 6, and he gets back up there on the back straightaway. There is fighting that sunset here. We're going to talk about the sunset. We just mentioned it. Watch this right here. I mean, it just makes it a blind spot for us in the broadcast position. If you're wearing one of them VR headsets, racing these machines, Greg? What's it going to be to your vision?
Zero when you go down the front stretch here. Watch as they come in. This is going to be a pretty good shot of it. You're on board with Stabnow going past Rattlesnake Hill. Stabnow is one of the guys who does run one of those heavy going away. Can barely make out the race leader, Dan West Jr. right there. Anderson, the bright white car directly in front of him, does show up, but Stabnow is one of those guys that does his rig, so he's going to be one of those guys you have to keep an eye on. Bridesman knows this, and he's taking a peek to the outside trying to capitalize.
Had a couple of, now there's yellow flag number 2, caution is out. I was literally going to say we had a nice little green flag run as Aaron Cooper with the stars on that number 71 machine going around. Car number 71 putting us under the Fish and Lure instant replay number 2. Here's a look at what happened.
Take a look deep in the field. Harris getting a little slow there in the number 11. As you see Hutchinson and Cooper go off into turn number 1. Cooper with a little. Cooper gets loose as Hutchinson tried the crossover.
Hutchinson trying to make that move on the outside, and then all of a sudden, Aaron Cooper nowhere to go. He gets turned. We're on lap number 12 of 140. I don't think anybody's coming to the pit lane except for our pick, Sean Bridesman. Correction, there is a couple of cars that have been brave enough to come down to the pit lane. Sean Bridesman will come in. Tyler King is also in. Scott Hutchinson comes in. We'll recap those pit stops and more when we return to cover LSRTV CRN Sports coverage of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series.
Every customer, every single time needs to get our... My goal, managing a team here in the dealership, is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be customers wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
Wheel to wheel, battle for the race lead. New race lead down the backstretch.
Here comes Brady Frederick.
Hey, it's Wesley Outlet on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to Community Radio Network at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Lights are off on the pace car. Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series here tonight. Correction, the lights are still on the pace car there. That view, that sun, made it a little peripheral vision for me. I'm Wesley Outland, Greg Rentz alongside. And, of course, Charles Wooten in the production chair. LSRTV CRN Sports coverage of your home for sim racing. Round 19 of the Copper World Classic for the Northwest iRacing Cup Series presented by Tom Denchel Automotive Group. And right now, Greg, it is the defending Truck Series champion, Dan West Jr. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, he was my number 2 pick to win this race. Sean Bridesman first, who just made a pit stop. He's going to be mired in the back of the restart when they come back to the Geico restart zone. Lights are off on the pace car, by the way. Dan West Jr., Caden Anderson, still, Greg, for the 3rd time, going to come back for a restart on the front row.
Fight on the outside, but West Jr. has the preferred line here on the inside as they break off into turn number 1 when they go green. And here's the thing, Wesley, Anderson had that preferred line on the initial start, but West was able to get the nose in front when the caution came out, so he inherited the race lead and has led all 15 so far as they come around to take the green flag. Biggest mover of the day, I think, so far has been Jeff Stabnow in that 24, up to 3rd now. Bridesman mired deep in the field, but I think he's setting himself up here for later in the day with that one.
The field roars back to speed inside the Geico restart zone. We are back to racing here as they get the home shot into turn 1. Dan West Jr. catfishing down on the inside. He'll break out with the lead to the inside. Here comes Jeff Stabnow through the arc, if you will. That little second straightaway in the middle of the back straightaway. as they work their way to 3 and 4 now. Anderson cuts off Stab now. He'll hug down on the bottom of the racetrack, and it's West up top side now, side by side, sun in their eyes, and back across the stripe.
Up in the turn, number 1, Stab now lurking in the 3rd spot. Garber taking a peek to the inside. Garber has a win on the Truck Series ranks this year. However, he has not yet won in the Cup Series, as he's taking a peek, trying to break onto the podium. He's been close. He's got on the podium a couple of times as of late, but not yet there as far as race win goes. Can Garber get it tonight?
When we hit lap number 20, we'll give you that full field rundown with 120 laps to go now. 18 on the board coming up next time by. And right now, Dan West Jr. still leading the way. 2-car leads back to Caden Anderson on the inside. Outside lane, good run for Jeff Stab now. And one of the things I keep watching as we saw sparks bouncing off the wall was Dan West Jr. on the right rear. The way you arc off that corner in turn number 2, Greg, you got to be careful, because if you're not careful, you have risk of taking your own self out and taking cars out in the process, especially when you're in a wad of traffic like 2 and 3 wide in this pack is. But you got to be really, really precise, if you will, going down into that little arc of the racetrack on the back straightaway.
You got to time it correctly if you want to make that move, and that's why you see some drivers only try it a couple of times a race later in the going. You don't see them doing that every single lap. There's a reason for that, because that takes a toll on the car. So definitely got to pick and choose when you try that dogleg.
Field working their way back across the start-finish line, this time by off of turn number 2. There's Jeff Stab now. Casey Garber with a decent run right now. We're working lap number 20. Let's give you your full field rundown as it stands here in the Copper World Classic for the Northwest Cup Series at Phoenix. Dan West Jr. leads. Caden Anderson is second. They were the front row at the start of things. No change. Jeff Stab now third. Casey Garber is fourth. Kevin Smith is in fifth. Ryan Bloom is sixth. Casey Tillman, Stephen Paulison, Judd Wakefield, and Briar Reynolds, your top 10 in the early going.
Actually, top 10 as they run. As you watch Stab now there, we'll get to top, or the second half here in just a moment. As they click down, trying to click laps away here. Carl Burke in the 53 is in 11th with Toby Ritters in the 12th spot. There's Sean Bridesman all the way up to 13th with Otto behind him. Tyler King, Troy Daggett making up 15th and 16th. Rounding out this 20-car field right now, Hutchinson, Cooper, Harris, and Titter, who's pinned 4 laps down as Bridesman has a little bit of a bobble.
Wow, we'll keep an eye on that there, Sean Bridesman. Do you think we might have jinxed him, Greg, the announcer jinx, even before he even took the green flag? Yeah, he's both our picks from one side of the world, the country of the U.S. to the other.
No, he's back there because of pit strategy. Remember, came down pit. Anderson gets the lead.
But you knew he was fighting for it, and you knew it was eventually he got it. We have a new leader, second time tonight for early. First lead change of the race, second driver. We started off with Dan West Jr. out in front, and now Caden Anderson now splitting the lead 1 and 2. And right now, good run going for Jeff Stab now, and Casey Garber's coming, and so is Kevin Smith as well. There's your top 5, and Greg is looking over him for the lead.
They are looking for it right now. Top 5 cars. Caution
Yellow is
out.
Caution
BJ
problems for
Tidrick.
Tidrick. For the Brickyard at the Indianapolis Road Course, and of course, the Verizon number 72 going around on the front straightaway. Greg, nowhere to go. Caution flag race.
Take a look at what happened here. You see him way down there on the dogleg. He was 4 laps down, missed the start of the race, and already had some damage from another incident as well, as you see there on the right rear. Just a little bit of scuff right there. And just kind of drifted up the track a little bit. Don't know if there was contact between him or Toby Ritters. We'll have to take another look at that.
Yeah, some contact there. Look at it from another angle. Aerial coverage always presented by All American Pools, and we look at the 72 car on the bottom. Toby Ritters.
Yeah, that's Ritters on the high side. Look how much BJ goes
He's
down
gave him
there.
plenty of room. He gave him plenty of room. Yeah. And then they close in on one another. There's Troy Daggett behind him in the 51. And then just, oh, here you go. Oh,
there's
just that little, just that little nudge, if you will. And that caused it. Wow. So the Verizon Ford
on pit road.
to the Verizon Ford coming under the yellow flag for the third time, and Ryan Bloom, Sean Bridesman, Tyler King. Boy, oh boy, Judd Wakefield, the whole cavalry, Greg, on the pit lane, and right now Sean Bridesman in for the second time, and you said strategy is why he pitted the first.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see him on pit road again, as I thought for sure he was setting himself up for that second half of the race, but now I'm not so sure that's what's going on here. So here we can't possibly figure out why Sean Bridesman's been on pit road twice already.
Still a lot of racing left to go. We still have about 111 remaining here in the... You know what we should call the race on Wednesday? Winter Heat. We should call it the... you remember the super trucks? Well, we can't call it Winter Heat because it's summertime, but you remember the Tucson Winter Heat, but I guess it'll be the Copper World Classic presented by LSRTV. Yes. Race is actually going to be called the LSRTV. Where the hell are the cables to my new monitor 200 is what I've been told is what it's going to be called. So, hey, so I don't get fired, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more racing. Phoenix Series, we're still rocking and rolling, presented by Tom Ditchell Automotive Group, and there's still over 100 laps to go.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Lights are off on the pace car. Welcome back to coverage from Phoenix. He's Greg Ransom, Wesley Outland from Carolina to Washington. And right smack dab in the middle, way down south in the deep south in the heart of Texas is Charles Wooten in the production chair. We are ready to go back to the Geico restart zone, and the green flag is about to fly. Watch that sun. Remember, those drivers wearing those virtual reality helmets is going to be hard on their vision. Green in the air. We're back to it again, and boy, oh boy, did he send it Anderson in turn one.
Anderson goes full send off into the corner to try to break away from the 55 of West Junior. Fights back on the bottom. Remember, Anderson had to try up and low to try to get around West Junior before finally getting by on the top. Seems like, contrary to what we thought was going to happen, the top seems to be where you want to be at the start of this race.
The top shelf where Grandma hides the cookies from Grandpa before his teeth fall out is what we're talking about. The Angels Expressway right there. Anderson and West and Stabdow, Garber, Tillman, the top five. They're right there weaseling each other down off that corner. They're in that little arc back straightaway, if you will. Send it into that third turn. Anderson on the inside. West is there, and here we go. Oh, boy, did you see Dan West getting really loose there coming off the exit of 4? What a save on the double nickel.
And have they been on pit road yet? So they might be getting a little squirrely out there. These tires might be getting a little worn out with these older tires that some of these guys are on. Some of them have been through a couple of restart cycles now. So things might be getting a little hairy here for some of these guys up front.
Watching as they work their way into that corner, back off of turn 4. There you go. And here you see Dan West Jr. just right there under the rear of the machine of Anderson, and Anderson scampers back away. You're back on the gyro cam, if you will, of Dan West Jr. A little banking here at Phoenix, not a lot. It's primarily kind of like a flat track, if you will, but that arc, that straightaway off of the back straightaway, in the middle of the back straightaway, if you will. As you see Dan West Jr. fighting the car again. Oh my goodness, and a little Incan blinking nod for Anderson. We'll keep an eye on the top 2 with problems in 1.
That's going to be a little bit of an eyebrow raiser for some of these guys here with the leader having problems like that. That's definitely going to get their attention. As you see West Jr., he's taking a peek to the bottom. And let's take a look at where we're at with the got some cloud cover rolling into it, looks like. Because we'll see what it's doing now. Those clouds are definitely helping the situation right now, Wesley.
Certainly is, boy. That sun covering the clouds is definitely being a help for these drivers, especially if they're wearing that VR headset. And honestly, Cass Booth, especially coming off of turn 4 down the front straightaway, there is a glare for about 3 seconds, if you will, where it's kind of hard to tell which one is which. But with that cloud cover now, it kind of gives it a little life. You can be able to see these cars more clearly. And honestly, their visibility is good as well as ours in the booth. But Greg, the thing is this, that cloud cover could possibly also cause handling and effects on these guys, the way they set up their cars.
Well, because remember, this is the fixed setup series for the Northwest Racing Series. These guys are all on the same setup. Very, very, very limited adjustments. I think it's only 3 or 4 different tweaks they can make to their cars. So that's the good news for them. Bad news is everyone's on the same setup. So if someone else figures something out before you, well.
Watching Bridesman right there, our picks. He is in the 4th position. Garber right there in 4th. This is the battle for 4th. Bridesman, his Toyota down to the inside, battling the Chevrolet of Casey Garber. Side by side, if you will, Toyota Camry, Chevrolet Camaro, right there, door to door. Down at the bottom is Bridesman. Really taking an advantage of this opportunity as he tries to go full send and go for stab now for a 2 for 1 and 3.
Anderson beginning to open the door a little bit more now. As he tries to West Jr. Already 100 laps to go in this one. We're already clicking laps away pretty quickly here in this one. 41 of 140. Not quite as chaotic as the last time we were here.
Still a long way to go. Still have the opportunity, obviously, for more cautions. We're not even at halfway yet. Lap 70 will be halfway. We're 100 laps to go, less than 100 remaining. There's Sean Bridesman going to the inside, going to the outside, trying to reel in LSRTV teammates right there. And the champion of the Cup Series down to the inside. Looking after Stab now. And I know they're teammates, but the bottom line, Stab now, he's hungry. And when you hungry, okay, I quote that word, hungry. When you hungry, you're going to do anything you can to win these races. And Jeff Stab back to victory lane, whether it be in the Cup or the trucks. He's had some pretty decent runs the last couple of weeks, but now he wants to be the guy to get the checkered flag. And by the way, he's him's pick tonight to win as well.
On one thing, because when I hungry, I go get some wings, and I know that's what Hims does also. So that's just us.
Yeah, Wingstop. Me, as a matter of fact, me and whenever Charles was ordering, when he was ordering dinner, when I was still driving from Charlotte, by the way, he was telling me of getting those delicious chicken wings. So I'm pretty sure that if Jeff Stab now wins finally in the Northwest Cup Series or trucks, drinks are on the house and chicken wings for everybody, as Charles always says. Wings for everybody.
I'm good with this sentiment.
Understanding that our producer, I don't understand why he is not producing from a toilet right now. He ate 30 chicken wings, a big platter of fries, and washed it down with almost a 42-ounce Coke. Yeah, definitely, yeah. 12-ounce Coke for me. I have that in front of me right now, just as a little. Oh wow. Well, anyhow. I'm glad you're okay. I figured he put his production in the bathroom, but he's all right now, so we're happy. I know now he pulled it off. If we all of a sudden hear the mic drop and he takes off to the bathroom, Greg, we know why.
Yeah, that'll answer the question.
Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, chicken and macaroni.
The heck is wrong
Kill
with
it
you?
with my homie.
Do what?
The heck is wrong with you?
It's
By
a
the way,
song.
hey, have
You
you
never heard that
noticed?
song?
Have you noticed? Look who's up to second.
Oh, well, it's Sean Bridesman. Yeah, I mean, just don't talk about him and watch what he does, okay?
That's what
Don't
I told
talk
you.
about him and watch
That's
his.
what I told you. Don't worry. He's gonna be A-okay. And here he is, Bridesman, already up to second on fresher tires than Anderson. He has sliced and diced through the field, and it's going to be pretty quick here before Bridesman's able to get to the lead.
Inside and out, as we were told a moment ago here at Phoenix Raceway. Still a lot of racing left to go for that matter. But right now, this is where they're at for the time being. Watching these drivers here down on the inside, 92 laps to go. Watching them work their way back into turn number 3. 90 laps to go here when they come back, and 91 to go. Number 50 next time by around as well. And again, look at the battle for the lead. Yes. Right there, Bridesman, like a stalk on his prey, ready to pounce. Here we go, into that third turn. Greg just coming up short, but he's right there. One wrong move by Anderson, and he
just lurking on the bottom. Here he comes, taking a peek to the bottom, and those clouds.
I don't think he's got the run yet.
I think he's got him this time.
No, Anderson just hit him on the outside, but then he loses all of that.
Bryson's going to be able to cut the dog leg right here. And on those fresh tires, see ya later. Bye. Sean Bridesman to the lead.
I think Anderson's hanging with him, Greg. Look
side
at
by
this.
Side for the lead. Anderson fighting on those older tires. Someone's coming down pit road.
When we saw what Hutchinson on the pit lane. Meanwhile, this battle for the lead continues after lap 50, and it's a good one between Bridesman and Anderson. A couple of Washington natives battle again out of 2.
To the bottom, Bridesman again cuts the dog clear. Anderson has the nose in front, but Anderson with a big run on the outside into turn number 3. But Bridesman has the nose in front. I think he's got him off of turn number 4 this time. Clear.
This time crossover trying to be Anderson. Couldn't get there. So a third different leader, a third different lead change of the race. And now it is Sean Bridesman. 50 laps. Let's give you your full field rundown as we're on lap number 50. And lap 52 right now of 140. Sean Bridesman leads. Caden Anderson now has fell back to second. Dan West have led throughout the race so far. Jeff Stab now 4th. Casey Garber is 5th. Kevin Smith, Briar Reynolds, Casey Tillman, Ryan Bloom, and John Ottenbacher. Good run for him, up 5 spots.
Ottenbacher sitting in 10th behind him. Stephen Paulson in a battle with Tyler King. Right now, this is for 11th on screen. As King gets to the bottom, Judd Wakefield lurking right back there in the number 50. Then Frank Harris, Troy Daggett, Carl Burke, Aaron Cooper, Toby Ritter. Lap right now. Scott Hutchinson is on pit road. BJ Titterick still 4 laps down in the 72. It has not been the night that last year's Championship 4 finalist BJ Titterick has won.
15 laps to halfway. Next time by, as they come to the line, there is Sean Bridesman down the back straightaway. You know, Greg, one of the things I noticed is, okay, he didn't do it this time, but normally you see like what Anderson did. Anderson would not drop below the bottom of the racetrack. He would not take advantage of that arc. They stay on the racing groove, and then others like to drive it and send it to do. Why is that? Do you feel like you have to set the car up to be able to go through that daring bump, if you will?
Gotta save the car. That bump does get a little abrasive with the car, so you got to try to limit yourself, and you don't want to use it up too much. You don't want to do that every single lap because it'll just wear out the tires and even wear out the front splitter a little bit on these Cup cars. So you got to be careful. You got to pick and choose what you do. You don't want to abuse the car and put yourself in the box by going down there every single lap because you're not going to have to steer in the run. That's why you see guys kind of pacing themselves on that, not doing it every single lap.
Battle going on for the 8th position, by the way, if you're watching. Bridesman has 2. Stephen Paulson 2. He's in 12th right now. Cooper with 2. Followed by Titterick and Hutchinson as well. They've pitted, and I think we've got some more cars coming out of the pit lane. Green flag pit stops are beginning in sequence on lap number 58. Anderson West behind Bridesman. Those are your top 3. As again, there is Dan West Jr. trying to run back down Anderson. But for the most part, Greg, everybody is right now just, I think, settling in for these green flag runs and getting ready, if you will, for pit stops under green flag sequence in a moment as well.
Yeah, some of these guys still have yet to come on pit road. You saw for a moment there that graphic of pit stop, and the lot have yet to come down pit road. Bridesman's already been on pit road twice. There you see it. Look at that. From 2nd on to 7th have been on pit road 0 times. Ryan Bloom's been on once, but Sean Bridesman and Tyler King, the only drivers with 2 stops, besides Titterick Cooper and Hutchinson, but they both are all have had some issues on the track right now. But Bridesman, those 2 early pit stops paying off right now. But what's the difference going to be?
So green flag pit stops are on the way. We really believe that now as we are approaching lap number 60. Next time to halfway. Greg, what's your take of the first half of the race so far as we are about to approach the cross flags?
A lot cleaner than what I thought it was going to be, Wesley. I was thinking cautions, or 23 cautions in that championship race. I was thinking, oh boy, this is going to be a long night. But it's been very clean so far. Only 3 cautions in the first 60 laps.
For the most part, everybody doing a great job here in virtual Avondale, Arizona. I know that it is the Phoenix Raceway. It's kind of like Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's in Concord, North Carolina. Well, it's like Texas Motor Speedway. It's not in, per se, Dallas. It's in Fort Worth, Texas. It's just outside of Fort Worth, Texas. But anyhow, the same could be done here at the Phoenix Raceway. Phoenix Raceway is in Avondale, just outside of Phoenix by about 10 miles. And so far, it has been a good one for the Northwest iRacing Cup Series here tonight in the Copper World Classic. And by the way, if you don't know what the Copper World Classic was, it was an historic race back in... stab now, troubles. Stab now, sideways. He saves it. He might have flat-spotted tires, if anything, but he holds on, and there is no problems, no caution, but a scare for Sean Bridesman, and I believe we can find it on the Pulse Popper Instant Replay. What a great piece of driving on Charles Wooten's #1 pick to try to win tonight. No caution, but boy, this could have been a wild ride, and it's off of that chicane bump stop, if you call it the arc off the back straightaway, Greg.
Let's see what happened. It was off of turn number 2, heading into that dog leg. Just breaks loose right there. And that is what we saw a lot of in that championship race last year. So saw a lot of that off of turn number 2. Stabnow knew what to expect and made the save. Nice job by Stabnow. 5 laps from halfway. Bridesman, Anderson, West, your top 3. Big Bird in the house. What's going on, Charles, Idaho, watching this tonight?
Sunny day.
Okay, so hello to Big Bird. Eric Cheney in the house. Always good cutting up with him. Fish noises, by the way. That's all I'm going to say. As Greg said, Sean Bridesman, Caden Anderson, Dan West Jr., Casey Garber, Kevin Smith, top 5. We are coming up on halfway. Boy, oh boy, what a fun time it has been.
Ooh, there's a good battle for 4th right now. Garber and Smith. That seems to be the best battle on the racetrack right now.
94 and 00 there it is. On the inside, there's a driver, Greg, that has just really improved hell out of me here in the last month or so. And I believe a win's coming. He's just got to keep digging. He's another one of those guys that are hungry, really hungry, just like Jeff Stabnow.
Puts that Ford Mustang into 4th position as Garber gives him the room and just lets him go. Garber saying, you know what, you're a little faster than me right now. We still have yet to put some fresh tires on here pretty soon, and we'll be good to go. But Garber, nice patience shown. But yeah, you're right. Kevin Smith, he has done so well this year. A lot of improvement, and that ARCA series has paid huge dividends to him. A winner at Kansas earlier this season is that 00 car in the ARCA series. Been a phenomenal season for him.
Next time by, 70 laps down, 70 laps to go, and what a show they've put on. I'm Wesley Outland. Greg Rentz is alongside. We're calling the action for you on the Community Radio Network. If you are listening at wearecrn.com, and if you're watching on LSRTV, your home for sim racing on Facebook, or we thank you. Let us know where you're tuning in from, where you're checking us out on our broadcast coverages. Right now, we get in for the second half of this race, 70 laps to go. Charles Wooten doing a phenomenal job. We have been working on a lot of updated technology in the last 36 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. Awesome work, of course, back with the 4K Ultra HD quality on LSRTV's YouTube channel. We have the 1080 HD on our Facebook feed at LSRTV. Give us a like and a follow at LSRTV at Sears. This is our esports coverage as we get ready to go into season number 2. In addition to that, our 5th consecutive year of North Carolina High School Athletic with fall football on Thursday night, Cardinal Gibbons and Clayton. We will have it for you. And just some of the cool things that are along the way at wearecrn.com as we got a great battle going on for the lead. Anderson, bright side of turn number 2.
Anderson's doing this on the original tires from the start of the race. Shows you how much he wants this back-to-back win right now around Bridesman to get the lead. Anderson back to the lead, but Bridesman not letting it get away, and West Jr. lurking as well.
Boy, what a battle for the top spot. And look at this hot and heavy Anderson now. Bridesman trying to reel him in. He led earlier. Back Anderson, Bridesman, West, the top 3. By the way, Stabnow is on the pit lane, guys. Jeff Stabnow, 24, in the pit. Says, oh, Sean Bridesman was dirt tracking it off turn 4 just a moment. It's Toyota.
I'm wondering if these tires, Wesley, might have what we call the plateau, where it gets to a point where they just even out no matter what. They just don't may have hit that, or maybe he's having some other problems because now West is on the inside of him. I'm wondering if Bridesman in that number 46 may be having some other kind of issue.
And our pick, he is our pick to win the race. And right now, he is fall back to 3rd. Green flag pit stops are underway, by the way. We've had Smith come in the pit lane. We've had Garberman pit. Here comes now Frank Harris. A quiet run for Frank Harris, by the way, in the top 10 a moment ago. Look at Brian Reynolds in this battle for the lead. Here we go. Or this 65 laps to go, Greg, in a battle now with the Miller Genuine Draft Colors. You think of MGD, you think of number 2 car. 1 car smoking in front of those leaders. He gets down below the bottom of the racetrack out of harm's way. And this race continues on. That was Frank Harris by
halfway. West Junior leader in 2nd. The early leader, boy, he's been on pit road twice already. Man, he just lost a ton of momentum, and Anderson has opened it up already, almost 2 seconds over West Junior. Last week's winner, trying to open it up again.
We are just after halfway in the Copper World. 3 races until the playoffs for the Northwest iRacing Cup Series, presented by Tom Denschel Automotive Group. We're going to go side by side so you do not miss the thing. Presented by Sawblade.com. Oh, my apologies. My apologies. We're not going to go. If we get a caution, we're going to go to commercial break. We do not have side by side, so that is awesome. We're going to just show you the racing action as it stands. So there you go. No side by side. More racing live. We get a caution, and then we'll play some commercials. As the lead back to 3rd, Dan West Jr. comes in the pit lane, Greg.
2nd place, Dan West Jr. on pit road.
Sorry about that.
He was the outside pole sitter. Leading
Wakefield,
the first 15 or so laps.
Hey, Greg, wouldn't it be cool if one of those cars were brave enough to drive through that little barrier there? Could the car fit through that little barrier?
No, he won't be able to fit.
Oh, you've tried it before? I guess our producers tried it before and he failed. He cordoned off the area, if you will, as you will say. Cordoned off the area. Sean Bridesman coming down to the pits. What do you think, Greg? What's going on with the 46? Whatever adjustments are being made, what do you think? And by the way, could this be the money stop, do you think?
60 laps ago, I think if this thing stays green the way it has been, yes, money stop. But
we
I'm
all
not sure
know that's
what
probably not
happening
happening, though, right? The probability. And there is Frank Harris. That's a lap car, by the way. Multiple laps down, if you will, battling with Sean Bridesman. And Sean Bridesman, Greg, is still in 2nd. How about if it's spot still, even after pitting?
Man, I'm wondering.
Is time and scoring updated? Is that correct, or is that?
Yeah, they have 2 on pit road there.
That's right. Well, Bridesman just pitted, so
in about 50 laps now. He's been on pit road twice in the first 30 laps. None of the top 5 have come down pit road. Some of these guys like Anderson, Bloom, Ottenbacher, Collison and company, there have not been on pit road yet at all today.
Here we're watching West, and we're watching earlier. Now they're back in 11th and 12th. There's Ryan Bloom. Bloom is in 3rd. Audenbacher up to 4th. How about it for Johnny O? John Audenbacher. My goodness, Greg, how long has it been since that guy's won a race? John Audenbacher, didn't he win a race last year at Talladega, I think it was?
He won the truck race at Daytona to open the
Truck
year
race
up.
at Daytona.
Has not
There
won
you go.
since.
That's it, won the and of course, Stephen Paulison opened up the season winning a wild one at Daytona out of nowhere. That's just, it's lap number 84 of 140. Lap 84 of 140. Lap 85 now. I was about to take us side by side, and the producer said, "No, keep going. We'll go to commercial via the caution." So we are keeping the broadcast on for you here. By the way, now in 4K Ultra HD on YouTube, HD 1080 quality on Facebook, and of course, it's all being done by Rocket Media, and of course, Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, and we have got some new gizmos and gadgets, and they are boy.
It is looking very stout here. The future is so bright, we gotta wear shades here at LSRTV.
The
Cannot
big
wait
one.
to see what brings us, or what life brings us next.
Yes.
You're home for sim racing.
And the voice of sim racing, LSRTV's coverage on CRN, the Community Radio Network, is right now. We watch these guys battle for the lead. And here comes also Casey Garber. Trying to get back a lap. He is currently in 10th. And now trying to get around Bridesman, the second place car. Anderson, 3 cars in front of them. And that pack of traffic, if you will, across the start-finish line. Dan West Jr. battling back, by the way. He's a lap down. Audenbacher on the upper top 5 run. Here he comes in the 89 on the pit lane.
On pit road in that bright green LSRTV machine. Getting 4 Goodyear tires. Oh, he got a penalty, Wesley. The tires drop, and he's still on pit road. He got a penalty.
What a tough break for John Audenbacher. We'll have to find out here what's going on. John Audenbacher
Here's your leader, Anderson.
entered the pits, and he suffers a penalty. So there is a penalty.
So your leader, Caden Anderson, goes 90 laps. Oh,
There you go. How about that? Caden Anderson almost close to 100 laps before he went to the pits on tires and fuel. What strategy, Craig? We know he can stretch it all the way to the finish if need be, as we are approaching lap 100.
just trying to set himself up for the end of the race. Audenbacher just now getting away. Man, what a heartbreaker there.
Yeah, Audenbacher at least got himself 2 or 3 laps down because of that. And honestly, what a heartbreak, as you said, Greg. He won in the LSRTV number 89 and then busted on pit road. But here's the thing, the strategy on the pit lane is just like on the racetrack. As we approach 50 laps to go here in car number 50, there you see, ironically, Judd Wakefield coming off of a pit stop in the Vape Pub entry. Greg, you cannot make it to do good on the track. You've got to make these great stops into the pits. You can't be speeding, entering, exiting. Make sure everybody's on the same mistakes, no penalties, no errors, if you will. Not taking yourself out in the process of coming to the pits or others. It can cost you, and that's what just happened to Audenbacher. House now falls all the way back to 18.
And now he's just going to have to ride it out and hope for some good luck for the rest of the race. But he's 3 laps. Tough call to get that one back from Audenbacher. I think this one is now a matter of how. Here's the thing, Wesley. I'm looking at the way things are looking right now for Bridesman. Right now, I've got him having to go in that number 46. That's what it's looking like to me. If he can max it out and go what Caden Anderson did, he will have to pick up.
Lap 93 of 140. About three caution flags I think we've had so far. 3 a lot different than 23.
Definitely much different than 23.
Oh, my goodness.
That was quite the night there on a Monday night last year.
That was the last race of the season, too, mind you. And by the way, that race got postponed to later on in the year, in January of this, he had some type of a technical error. If you remember that,
Yeah.
And we had to postpone it and then rechange the dates to try to fit the truck and the Cup race fest for the finale of the Cup Series, and then the truck race. I don't know what adjustments, what changes they made, but they had maybe one caution flag to finish out the entire.
It was an amazing tale of two races there.
Yes, sir, it was.
Bridesman's
approaching-
opening it up time right now over Ryan Bloom. It's now 8 seconds, so Bridesman has the lead, but I don't think he can make it all the way. But probably in the next 15, 20 laps or so.
Coming up on 45 laps to go here at the Phoenix Raceway. Let's give you your full field rundown as we are approaching lap 100, a century grind, and a 40-lap shootout awaits here in the Copper World Classic. Sean Bridesman leads the way. He's got about a 9 spots. Dan West Jr. back 1 in 3rd. Up 6 spots is Kevin Smith in 4th. Back 4 with problems is Caden Anderson in the top 5. Casey Garber back by 2 in 6. Back by 2, Jeff Stabnow 7. Up 6 spots is Tyler King in 8th. Casey Till P9 in the 92. And Stephen Paulison up 1 spot. Greg, he's in the top 10.
Sitting in 11th right now, 1 lap down, Briar Reynolds, who missed the start of the race, had to start the race on pit road. Just 1 lap down. Not a bad run for the Garber's Garage entry over Troy Daggett for Team Ramrod. Carter top 15, they're all 1 lap down. 2 laps down are Judd Wakefield, Toby Ritters, Aaron Cooper, and John Ottenbacher. Has gotten one of those laps back under green now. BJ Titterick 5.
It's 47 laps down. First truck scored. First car out of the race, by the way. And by the way, as we approach lap 100, we remind LSRTV, I'm looking for my 2 monitor cables. Where the hell are they, 200? That will be on Wednesday night, 11:35 Eastern Time on Wednesday night. The Northwest iRacing Truck Series. I'm just playing. It's the LSRTV 200, by the way. And going on and just watching what Jeff Stabnow is doing. Greg, he's climbing back through there. He's got lap cars in his midst, though, but still 40 laps to go this time by when he works out of turn number 4. Still got time, and I still think this race is far from over with a yellow flag and bunching things up for a finish.
Sitting pretty steadily in 7th right now. Wakefield's a couple laps down. This is not for position for the number 24 right now. Just kind of riding, but he's 23 seconds back of Bridesman right now. So these guys back here need a caution or something. But here's the weird thing. The guy who needs the caution the most is the race leader, Sean Bridesman, because for this final run to the finish.
A final run to the finish. There you go. You're seeing Ryan Bloom there in 2nd spot. There is Sean Bridesman. Greg, how Sean Bridesman good? Were we right from North Carolina to Washington State? Do you think we picked our pick perfectly? I had my reasons of why the 46 car I thought was going to win tonight.
We each had our own reasons for why we thought the 46 was going to win tonight, but he definitely set himself up to be off sequence with the rest of the field like we're so used to seeing old Brights do in that number 46 Brights Boutique LSR. That's why he won 10 Cup races last year en route to a championship. That's why he's got, 5 wins this season, second only to Lake Peterson. By the way, none of the Bumblebees here tonight. Tyler, Oregon-based driver that we were just talking about.
Another driver that's wanting to finally break through into victory lane as well, Greg.
Getting those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles on. 2 fresh tires on number 21, a 2-tire stop for Tyler King. All right, that's the first time we've seen that in quite a few LSRTV. A 2-tire stop. We haven't seen a whole lot of those lately.
2 tires. That's kind of brave. What do you think of that?
That's what won the race last week at Texas for Caden Anderson. But
that's
man,
right. Yes, it did.
That was on a green-white checkered though. This is with about 35 laps to go. I think Tyler King may have paid a couple visits to the Church of the Brights and asked himself, WWSBD, what would Sean Bridesman on?
Possibly. Maybe. What would SB do? 35 laps. Judd Wakefield. Kind of a decent run for Judd Wakefield tonight, Greg. Normally he's caught up in wrecks or has problems, and he's currently outside the top 10 right.
But it's been a solid run for him and a good run to get himself back on track. We know he's got speed in that number 50. He proved that at Daytona at the start of the year was very, very good. up in that race. Since then, been a bit of a struggle with luck for the rookie, but he's setting himself up nicely here. A good, solid run. The 12 of Bridesman is about a couple seconds ahead of him right now in the number 12. So Wakefield can still very much get up entry of Reynolds and get himself a top 10 as you look at Bridesman, the race leader. But that gap back to Bloom is beginning to shrink a little bit. That was almost 9 seconds. It's now down 7.5. So Bloom is beginning to chip away here at Bridesman.
Closing in. Bridesman leading. Bloom in second. Here comes, I believe, is it Dan West Jr. behind him? No. That's.
And here comes Bloom on the pit road.
Yeah, Bloom's on the pit lane, though. Give it up second. Boy, oh boy, talk about a money stop. He can't go to the finish.
One of the other rookies in the series coming down pit road. That's going to give second place back to Caden Anderson. 13 seconds back, but again, Bridesman's going to have to pit one more time. He's hoping to catch a caution before that happens.
I'm wondering, Greg, will we even see a caution flag, man? This race has really impressed me. I didn't think we'd have as long as a green flag run as we've had. I mean, we've literally been for green flag for what, almost 80 laps?
I'm shell-shocked at how this race has gone here so far after last year. I mean, last year, Seth Frazier in the number 32 was very frustrated with how that race went. He finished second to Bridesman in that race in the championship hunt as well. And Frazier was just one of many drivers who voiced displeasure in how that race unfolded. An entirely different race here tonight at the same track.
If I'm thinking about it, I think we've only had 2 yellow flags in this race. With 3 caution flags. Okay. In the sequence of the opening 20 laps, I'm thinking in the opening 20 laps, we've had 3 caution flags. So we've had almost over an 80-lap run where we've not had any caution flags. We've had 2 rounds of green flag pit stops for a lot of cars. And honestly, Greg, it has been a tit for tat between Sean Bridesman, Caden Anderson, Dan West Jr., and what do you know, those 3 drivers on the lead lap, those separated from each other between 11 to 14 seconds, 3 seconds back from West to Anderson, 12 seconds back from Anderson to Bridesman. They are the drivers that are battling in the top 3 as this race comes to the end.
Here's the thing. I think we know Anderson can make it. I think West can make it. Bridesman cannot make it. He's on pit road. He's in. We knew it was coming. I thought he could have gone another 8 laps or so, but Bridesman is in.
2 tires? We've seen this strategy of the 46 before.
Bridesman's
what do you think?
2. No doubt Bridesman's taking 2 here. I have no doubt in my mind he's going to try something. Here he is, sliding into the pit stall.
Sean Bridesman giving up the lead. 2 tires stop possibly. He overshot his pit stall. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
And he is taking 4.
4 tires on the 46 of Bridesman. Overshot his pit stall. You know, Greg, he might have thought, hey, man, I overshot my pit stall. Might as well just go ahead and take on 4, better than 2.
Let's see what we can get here. We'll see where he falls in line in car number 46. I think Anderson got around him. I think Bridesman's going to be pinned 2 laps down in that number 46. Showing 1 lap down. We'll see how it resets.
Yeah.
Still 1 lap down. Bridesman got lucky there. Bridesman got lucky. He's still in the lucky dog position. It's a battle with Bloom right now, and now Bridesman's going to be able to try to race his way down, get his lap back, and try to set himself up if they get a late race caution. Bridesman got lucky. That was not a whole lot worse.
Definitely lucked up on that.
Ooh, Anderson getting a little slippery there in the number 37.
We are excited to have CRN be the voice of LSRTV's coverage of esports. Of course, the Northwest Cup and Truck Series when the American iRacing League returns back as well. We'll also cover those events and special events along the way. Of course, if you'd like to know more about the Community Radio Network, go to wearecrn.com and CRN Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And football returns. That's right. First pigskin game of the season as we are approaching 25 to go here at Phoenix as With Thursday night, Cardinal Gibbons and the Clayton Comets coverage, 6:15 Eastern time with the IQ Energy Drink pregame kickoff, followed by the first football game of the year. Greg, I love my racing, but I love my football too. I'm looking forward to getting back in the broadcast booth for college and high school football beginning in the next month.
High school football getting things started here. Seeing the old Lakeside Eagles see what they can do here this year in the Northwest in Washington State. You know, we didn't have a playoffs last year, state tournament, none of that. But boy, last year Lakeside was making some noise in the thing that shall not be named. But man, if last year was any indication, I like what I'm seeing out of my alma mater moving into this year. I'm curious to see what happens with Lakeside.
Their team win all the way with a first-year head coach, Shane Handy from Randleman, North Carolina, the home of the great Petties, Richard Petty, Kyle Petty, Lee Petty, Adam Petty. And, of course, he went from that being a one-year head coach for the Comets, and then they went in spring football in a 7-week series to the final round of the Eastern Regional State Championships. We were one game away from the state championship game, and to be a one-year head coach right out of the gate and take it all the way to the Eastern Regional semifinal, pretty darn good. We're looking forward to some big things this year, and we'll have it for you on the Community Radio Network, as well as basketball coming up in the winter time and in the spring. Baseball, I know Charles likes baseball. He likes baseball. He likes softball. And we're looking forward to all esports as well. We are coming to 20 laps to go. Boy, oh boy, what commercials. This is a long green flag run. And right now it is Caden Anderson, Greg, leading the way. How about it? He won last week. He swept Texas. He is trying to look for his second career Cup Series. And he is doing good as we approach 20 to go here in Phoenix.
And I believe he's on fresher tires than West Jr. in the number 55, who's in second right now. I believe Anderson is in on fresher tires right now. It'll be interesting to see if Anderson can get up there.
10-lap difference. 10-lap difference on tires.
19 to go.
Hey, Greg, what do you think of iRacing? Obviously going to be launching and debuting Hickory in the next download, but also they're working on the possibility of weather. We might possibly actually talk about rain delays or have racing in the rain on our broadcast in the future on LSRTV. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to that little domino in the mix. I think that's going to be fun. I think that's something that you can have some fun with and throw a curveball to some of these drivers and say, all right, by the way, it's going to start raining somewhere between lap 100.
Right, exactly.
We'll see. We'll see what the weather delay or weather.
Field coming back down to the inside, and it is Kevin Smith down to the inside of the racetrack going after. Look at this, Ryan Bloom and Carl Burke. When I was talking about Kevin Smith, I was looking at the scoring ticker. My apologies. What a run for the 00. He's in third, Greg. Another top podium finish possibly coming to the number 00. What a run.
That was a nice gap over Garber right now. 5 seconds the gap between third and fourth right now, as you see Bloom, who has gotten himself one of his laps back and trying to work his way up. By the way, Sean Brightsman's already up to sixth, and he is far and away the fastest car on the racetrack right now, but he does need a caution. He's going to have to be a second faster than Anderson per lap from here to the finish if he wants to get up there in the green.
Under 20 laps to go. A matter of fact, it is 15 laps to go. Caden Anderson is leading the way. Dan West Jr. in second. Kevin Smith is third. Casey Garber fourth. Jeff Stab now in the top five. Bridesman, Paulison, Bloom, Burke, Wakefield. He's the last car on the lead lap in 10th. We get a caution, and it will be the free pass going to the 50. He's in 10th, but we got 14 to go, and it's K.A. leading the way to the backstretch.
Old Caden Anderson, fresh off of a big second place finish in the Idaho 200, looking for more. One spot better in the Idaho 208 next weekend. Coming up for weeks of racing here in the Northwest, and Caden Anderson going to be right smack in the middle of it all. In that number 37. One career of the year here, the Fall Classic last year. Anderson's had some good runs this year. A lot of second-place finishes for Anderson on the real-world side in late models. Ended up in the podium quite a few times. 4 wins on the Truck Series and a Cup win to boot. Looking for that second straight Cup win here.
On to the end of this thing here, will we see a late race caution? The LRC under 15, now make it 12 to go. Caden Anderson hitting his marks. There's Dan West Jr. He's in second. By the way, Greg, reeling in the leader. The interval is closing in. It's under 4 seconds now, if you will. 3.897 actually. And there's Cat's Whisker of Dan West Jr. Boy, Kevin Smith trying to go for the second spot if he can run him down. And we got 11 to go here in the Valley of the Sun.
Letting Casey Tillman go in the number 92, and Smith will cross back over. And I think Smith is going to be inclined to just ride it out and get himself a podium here tonight, Wesley, because this is going to be a big one for Kevin Smith if he can get a top 3 at Phoenix of all tracks.
10 laps to go. Caden Anderson hitting his marks, leading the way. By the way, he won last Monday night and Wednesday night in Texas. He's punched his ticket into the playoffs, and now he's looking for his second career back-to-back Northwest Cup Series win this season. He also, Greg, my boy, has 5 wins on the Truck Series this year. The all-time truck winner this year is Caden Anderson. What a job for the boy out of Yakima, Washington.
One of the hottest drivers on the circuit right now is Yakima, Washington's Caden Anderson, trying to hold off Shelton, Washington's Dan West Jr. 3.8 seconds. Anderson finally got the monkey off his back last week in Texas, and now here he is looking for back-to-back at Phoenix, a track very, very different than the Texas two-step we were at last week. So definitely showing his versatility here in the 37.
Into turn number 3. Kevin Smith, still a nice run going for him. To the inside. Battling with the machine of Cooper, the lap car. Best battle on the racetrack there, as we were just showing it to you. Ritters, Reynolds, right there. The 12 and the 23. And you got Jeff Stapp now right there in front of him. Greg, sorry, Charles, your pick. Going to have to settle for a 6th place finish. Another top 10, though. And there's some silver lining at the end of the tunnel, Greg. And if we have to look at being a consistency year for Jeff Stapp now, he at least is probably going to punch his ticket into the playoffs by consistent finishes, if you will.
He has definitely turned it up here in the second half of this regular season, knocking out some good runs, getting a couple podiums here and there, and some solid top 10s to go around. So he's doing what he needs to do. If he's not winning races, he's doing exactly what he needs to do to get himself into the playoffs. He's getting himself in the hard way, but hey, it's in. Playoffs is playoffs. You're talking about playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. Playoffs. Yes, 2 races remain. The penultimate race of the regular season is next Monday night and Wednesday night at Kansas Speedway. You're not in Kansas anymore after you finish up with that last race, and then it's on to Talladega with 5 to go here in Phoenix. Boy, we got some unique racetracks, Greg, to punch it into the playoffs. And then the playoffs, a hell of an interesting race at the Indianapolis Road Course of the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard yesterday, won by A.J. Allmendinger. Shout out to my buddies at Colleague Racing. Man, what a special moment that was. And, Greg, it was a wild finish. Denny Hamlin having a little fisticuff. But anyhow, good moment. We're going Indianapolis Road Course racing ourselves in the Northwest Cup and Truck Series coming up in the opening round of the playoffs. Then we race on the 2.5-mile yard of bricks at the famed, world-famous Speedway coming up to open up the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. And we got a caution. Oh, my goodness.
This
3
changes
laps
everything.
to go. A yellow flag. Katie bar the door. My goodness. And I think it's B.J. Tidrick again with a problem in 72.
Let's take a look at a Polk Popper's instant replay.
3 laps to go. almost a 97-lap green flag run, and then a caution flag coming out. Frank Harris, did he get in to BJ
Let's see,
Tidrick?
there's a lot of room there. Tidrick gets up into the marble. Space between them here off of turn number 4. Ah, he got in the marbles
he
and
just
just broke
lost
loose.
it.
Oh, my goodness.
And Greg, shades of honestly where he lost it the last time they brought out the third caution flag.
Almost.
Almost.
Turn 4 not being nice to Tidrick tonight. Well,
Well, we're
Wesley,
going to overtime, and everybody's coming in the pits.
down, but where's that 46? Where is that 46 of Bridesman?
He
He
didn't
stayed
pit.
out.
He didn't pit. He didn't pit. I think he went to the lead.
Oh, yeah, he's the first one tonight.
He's the new leader. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wait, Ottenbacher. Is Ottenbacher still 2
It's
laps
on-
down?
No, it's Sean Breitzman, the leader
Okay.
now. Yep.
All
Ryan
right.
Bloom, it looks like he's going to go to second. Carl Burke is going to go to third. Holy overtime. Look at Sean driving below the bottom of the apron, Greg. He's doing anything he can to save his fuel and also not use well. A long green flag run leads us to our final commercial break, and we've got overtime coming up at Phoenix, live on LSRTV and listening on the...
Every customer, every single time, needs to get our very best. From moment one, my goal, managing a team here in the dealership, very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be a time in that transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what, and having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
Wheel to wheel, battle for the race lead. New race lead down the backstretch.
Here comes Brady Frederick.
Hey, it's Wesley Outlet on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Shootout time, overtime coming up. Greg, explain the overtime rules of the Northwest Cup and Truck Series because we only do it 2 times.
2 attempts at a green 6 mile tonight. So we're going to take the green flag here. Momentarily, the iRacing sedan is going to pull into pit road. Once we take the green flag, if the caution comes out before we come around to the finish to take the white flag, we'll try it again. And if we get to the white line, that's it. The next flag ends the race. If we don't, we'll try it one more time, at which point, as soon as that green flag falls, next flag ends the race.
Flag, race is over. If not, second attempt, race is over. Wreckers or checkers. And here we come, overtime. 2-lap shootout. Green flag back in the air. Sean Breitzman. It's his house, if you want to call it that, but here Carl Burke and Dan West Jr. Kevin Smith on the inside as they hit the back straightaway.
Here we go. This is it. Going to be between the 2 fastest cars in town all day long. Anderson and Breitzman, if they can put up the track. Smith is in the wall in the 00. We watch that green, watch that green, watch that green.
White
We're
flag.
at the line, white flag. CRN 1 to go.
The CRN 1 to go is out. 1 more lap to go. Sean Breitzman, leading for the final time is Anderson. Going on the outside after Breitzman into 3. He's got a run in the bottom of the racetrack. Here he comes. Anderson trying the outside. Breitzman throws the block.
Third all
Anderson,
day
Dan
long.
West Jr.
Brightsman's
Dirt
alive.
tracking off
Anderson's got
the
it.
4. To the line. He couldn't get there. Anderson wins. Sean Breitzman spins. Stab now crashes. Oh my goodness.
Anderson gets it by 0.2 of a second.
Caden Anderson, 0.283 at the checkered flag. My goodness, Sean Breitzman, oh so close. Thank you for playing. Can we see that shootout one more time? Watch this off of turn number 4 as Caden Anderson, 2 in a row, burning it down here in the Valley of the Sun, virtually under the lights in the Copper World Classic 200. Look at the finish. We're going to show you one more time. Greg, all hell was breaking loose. Dan West Jr. was cocking it dirt track sideways. I think these guys were giving it all they had. And Anderson just 0.02 of a second quicker than Bridesman at the stripe.
Here, right here is when Anderson had been preferred, but he knew he was going to have to fight it off with Bridesman. Here we watch. West is going to start sliding right about there. West goes for sliding, and right there, Bridesman breaks loose as well. Fights it back to the finish, but Anderson holds on. Gets across the line. The Northwest high five has been going on while we do this. West comes in, gives a hit to Anderson. Caden Anderson has back-to-back wins.
Paulison puts him on his lid. Oh my goodness, he hit the wrong car. Spark, celebration, excitement. Dan West Jr. at Squilling Tires trying to come back after the 37. 2 wins in a row. His 3rd career Cup Series win, mind you. He won one race last year at Richmond. That was a wild one, if you remember that one, Greg, for Caden Anderson of the Northwest Cup Series. And now this man is Troy Daggett. Sends him another punt upside down like a top on his lid. He has punched his ticket into the playoffs, and now he's just continuing to accumulate wins. He wins the Copper World Classic for the Northwest iRacing Cup Series here tonight at Phoenix. And he is also preparing as the all-time winner this season so far, looking for win number 6. And by the way, back-to-back at Phoenix on Wednesday like he did at Texas last week, if he can pull it off. But by the way, that is all coming up on Wednesday. The LSRTV 200 from Phoenix Raceway. We will have it for you on LSRTV and on the Community Radio Network. But for right now, let's take a look. Sawblade.com. Unofficial results. Look at him. Caden Anderson getting it done. John Bridesman will finish in 2nd. Casey Garber 3rd. Ryan Bloom is 4th. Jeff Stabnow, another consistent top 5 finish to keep his hopes alive for the playoffs. Dan West Jr. 6th. Judd Wakefield. Carl Burke with a run. Kevin Smith, you'd have thought he had a chance to win. He fell back by the wayside of that shootout, but it's still a top 10 finish. Stephen Paulison, the top 10 here in Phoenix.
Second half of the field sees Briar Reynolds in the 12 with Troy Daggett in the 51. Tyler King in the number 21. He was the one that tried that 2-tire strategy in the late. Comes home 13th. Frank Harris and Toby Ritters round out the top 15. Aaron Cooper, John Ottenbacher are the final 2 cars running at the end. The final cars running at the end. BJ Titter, Casey Tillman, and Scott Hutchinson did not finish the race.
So there you go. When we come back, we will grab a word with Caden Anderson and the rest of the stars of the Northwest Cup Series that finished in the top 3. What an event. 0.02 of a second when it is said and done. It is Sean Bridesman missing it by just mere inches at the start-finish line. And again, an awesome job for the driver of the number 37 out of Yakima, Washington. Our picks, Greg, so close. Nobody was thinking about Caden Anderson. I'll tell you, he was my dark horse. It came to mind, but I just did not say he's my number 1 pick. And I am kicking myself now. But anyhow, Sean Bridesman, what a race. Never count out him one tough customer, the defending Cup Series champion. A quick break. When we return, we will grab the top 3 and wrap things up from Phoenix. Greg, I will let you say your final closings because you are leaving right now.
Yeah, back to reality here. It was a nice little summer break, but I'm back to getting up early in the morning before the sun's even up, so back to that. Real life catching up again, but hey, what a wild race here at Phoenix. Up and down, completely different than what we saw last year in the championship race. Last year saw 23 cautions in this race. Tonight, only 4 on the night, including one to set up a green-white checker. Definitely a wild one here tonight. Definitely happy to see it all unfold the way much cleaner than what we thought. Caden Anderson coming through in the clutch with a move on the outside on the fresher tires for back-to-back wins. Much needed for him. We go to the trucks on Wednesday. Open setup on Wednesday going to be a lot different than what we saw here tonight. Definitely looking forward to Wednesday night and seeing what we got coming your way on LSRTV.
And now you can let it storm and rain and let the rain fall on the roof
Loose.
as you can go to sleep in peace, my friend. Always enjoy working with you. I will see you Wednesday night.
Yes, sir. All right.
He's Greg Rentz. I'm Wesley Outland. And a shout out, by the way, to our buddy out of California, Samuel Dyer. He was on emergency standby just in case the lights went out in Greg Rentz's world, where we needed to have him available to step in to fill in case the weather got a little too nasty up in Washington. But when it's said and done, he was able to work it till the end. Always a good job. When we come back after a commercial break, word from our sponsor, Tom Denchel Automotive Group, we will talk to the top three and close it out here at Phoenix, where Caden Anderson has won again back-to-back in the Northwest iRacing Cup Series in the Copper World Classic.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Wanted to get that one quick commercial in there one more time. Big thanks to everybody at Tom Denchel Automotive Group for being a proud sponsor of what is the Northwest Racing Series. If you want to be a part of the Northwest Racing Series, whether Cup, Truck, or even ARCA, the Driver Development Program, go to Northwest Racing Series and contact them in the Northwest. You have to be in the Pacific Northwest to be able to join the program in the Northwest Super Late Model Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products, coming back in October of this year as well. Well, Greg has left. I'm Wesley Outland. We're about to grab a word with our top three drivers along the way, and we will talk to Caden Anderson in just a moment, as he has picked up back-to-back wins on the series, his third career win. But Casey Garber has picked up a win earlier in the year in the trucks program. Looked real good in the car. Casey Garber, driver the number 94, on the podium, third place. It's been a while since I've talked to you, man. What a good run here tonight. What's your take of Phoenix?
The setup was a little loose there coming off, so definitely had to get up on the wheel. I squeaked out a podium, and you just talked to me last week because I got a podium last week too.
Yes, you have. Yeah, what I was meaning to say is the last couple of weeks you have definitely showed signs of improvement.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into that playoff hunt there, so trying to put in a few extra laps and take her in.
Where do you feel you're at right now in the playoff contention?
I think I'm right on the bubble there, so I got to keep working. A win would be nice, but these good finishes always help the points too.
Well, a consistent run for sure. I know you had some times where you fell back on the lap down during the green flag cycle, the pit stops for sure. But it's all said and done. You do come back, finish third. It's good for the points. You're on the podium. Thank your sponsors on car number 94. We'll see you Wednesday.
I just want to thank Garber's Garage and Tom Denchel Auto Group and you guys for putting this on. Appreciate it.
There you go. That's the driver of the number 94, Casey Garber, again, finishing third on the podium here tonight. Runner-up in the event, number 46, the defending Cup Series champion, the driver that won here in Phoenix last year of Puyallup, Washington, now from the Arizona area. Tucson, Arizona is where he's from. That's the driver of course, Sean Bridesman. Sean, oh, so close. Your take of the race, and do you think the overshooting of the pit stall hurt you in your money stop to still kind of come back and rally to get the win?
Overall, I don't think so. The pit stop was unfortunate, but I kind of set myself up for what I dealt with tonight. So I pit early, got tires, and we only had one extra set. So I had to try to stretch that as long as possible. That way I had the freshest tires. And Caden was just on rails. I mean, he definitely had the car to beat based off of what I saw. And even Dan West was hanging with him for a while there too. So I just got to be happy with the Brights Boutique Toyota Camry and our run here tonight and finishing second and almost snagged the win.
Yes, sir. Hey, mind you, when that caution came out with 3 laps to go, was you looking forward to that? Was that like a big smile on your face when you saw that late race caution when Tendrick spun?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that gave me it gave me a shot at a top 3, really is what it gave me a shot at. So I was hoping there was a few other people on similar strategies or, maybe taking 2 tires, something to hold those guys off. But just wasn't in the cards tonight. Caden was bad fast and it showed.
What are you going to change from tonight that you could use for the truck race on Wednesday? And obviously get back to victory lane in the trucks. You've done pretty well in the cars, but the trucks is definitely you want to get back to victory lane at.
I'm probably going to need to put in some more time. It's really the biggest thing that's holding us up is putting in the time to tweak on that setup and make it just right for the driving style as well as for the racetrack. So just got to put a little more time on Wednesday night, Tuesday night, or Tuesday night, not Wednesday night, Tuesday night, and dial it in for Wednesday when we go racing at Phoenix.
I was about to say Tuesday night's practice night, so definitely tinker and work on things and get it ready to go for sure. Thank your sponsors as always, Sean, and again, good job in second place.
I got to thank Tom Denschel Auto Group for all their sponsorship of the Northwest Series, Cup Series, and just appreciate them completely. So check them out at tomdenschelautogroup.com. Thank you guys at LSRTV, Brights Boutique, Blenders, Central Welding Supply, and everybody here at the Northwest Racing Series and LSRTV.
Good run for Sean Bridesman, the defending Cup Series champion, coming up one spot shy by 0.248 seconds at the time of the checkered flag over this man. Back-to-back wins. He dominated and swept Texas last week, his third career Northwest Cup Series win. Of course, 5 truck wins, and going to try to sweep Phoenix again as well like he did last week at Texas. Driver the number 37 from Yakima, Washington, Caden Anderson. Congratulations, bud. What a job.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like we put in some work here in the past couple of weeks, and it's starting to really pay off.
Man, I'm telling you, I was about to say, you have literally got something figured out for sure. What is it, the handling? Is it the setup? Is it just getting practice? What is it that's got you on this tear here lately?
I think a lot of it is practice. I put in some more laps than I normally do each and every week, so combined with laps, and tonight, the setup was super loose on exit, and my driving style having to work towards the way that the setup is. I really excel in the loose environment, so I feel like that and more practice time has really helped us out here towards these last couple of races.
So as we move towards the playoffs, you've obviously punched your ticket in both the Cup and Truck Series now. Are you thinking championship, Kanan? I mean, I know there's a couple of races left until the playoffs, but you're in them for both Cup and Truck. The dominance you've been having here for the Cup, but mostly in the Truck Series as well. Are you thinking, man, we got a chance to go for a championship this year?
Recently I feel like we really excelled, and I think we do have a shot at it. There's a lot of tough competition in here, so it's going to be tough getting there. But we're just going to keep putting in the work and the practice, and hopefully we can come out on top.
What do you take from this race, obviously winning, to prepare for a chance to sweep 2 weeks in a row on Phoenix on Wednesday for the truck event?
Just keep doing what we're doing. These wins are obviously cool and very exciting, but we got to keep our nose on the ground and keep grinding away. So just focus and make sure we have everything right for Wednesday night.
Eye on the prize, as they always say, whether it's virtual reality, and of course, Caden Anderson doing just that. Before we let you go, bud, thank your sponsors. Congratulations. We'll see you Wednesday.
I want to thank Harvest Chevrolet, Avera Auto Sales, Poor Boys Auto Wrecking. These guys helped me out in my real life, so I got to thank them here. And then thanks to LSRTV and Tom Denschel Auto Group for allowing us to have a place to race virtually.
Picking up another win again in a wild finish over Sean Bridesman. Again, the driver, the number 37, Caden Anderson. He will try to sweep like he did at Texas at Phoenix on Wednesday night. For the LSR TV 200, presented by Tom Denschel Automotive Group, we'll have coverage beginning at 11:35 Eastern, 10:35 Central, 8:35 Pacific on your home for sim racing, LSR TV, and on the community radio network at CRN Sports. Let's take a look before we go off the air, before we go off the air, I want to give you the top 12 in the playoff picture, as it's just been updated with this win tonight for Caden Anderson. His second win, by the way, third in his career. And again, the driver also has moved up to 7th. So right now, the top 12, the fast 12, with 2 races before the playoffs, is Sean Bridesman, obviously, Dan West Jr., Lake Peterson, Christopher White, who was not here tonight, ironically. Kevin Smith is in 5th. Jeff Stabnow, remember I was telling you about consistent? Mr. Consistency this year is right now the Montana native 6th. Caden Anderson, with his win tonight, has moved up 1 spot from 8th to 7th. BJ Tidrick falls back to 8th. Stephen Paulison 9th. Ryan Bloom is 10th. Tyler King and Stephen O'Hare, the top 12 right now as it stands in the run to the playoffs as we get ready for Kansas next week for the Cup Series. Always fun. Check us out as always at LSRTV, CRN Sports, Northwest Racing Series. For Greg Rentz, for Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, everybody at Rocket Media, I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations again to Caden Anderson winning here in the Copper World Classic. He'll try to go for 2 straight weeks in a row like he did at Texas, at Phoenix for the trucks on Wednesday, and we will have it for you on iRacing's coverage of LSR TV and the Community Radio Network. Thank you for watching or listening. Be good to one another. Keep on praying for America, especially Afghanistan this time of the year right now, and we hope that you've enjoyed our coverage.